Hello, and welcome to Getting We're Going Healing, a place where we talk about mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being to help you learn to let go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. My name is Tova, and I will be your guide. Today, we're going to do a reading. It's been a little while since I've put one out. There's just been a lot of craziness happening in my life, as I'm sure there's probably in yours as well. If you're following what's going on astrologically, if you're watching this video when it's coming out, when it's being released, there's a lot of things happening astrologically right now. A lot of changes happening in the frequency and a lot of upset going on, and my life is no different. So maybe that's the reading today. How to move through the current upset in your life. No, I was just given another directive. It's not how to move through it. What is the shakeup going on in your life and how to move through it? So I think that's what we're going to do. What is the shakeup going on in your life and how to move through it? So let's pick 3 piles today. All right, angels, guides, ancestors of all those tuning in, can you please help us get clear guided messages so that those who are tuning in can hear the messages they need to hear? Thank you. Where are we getting our piles from, please? Heal Yourself. Heal Yourself Oracle, okay? So we're going to pull 3 piles. So again, we said, what is the upset that is going on in your life and how do you move through it? Okay, 3 piles, please. 3 piles. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. All right, thank you. I saw letting go in reverse on the bottom of the deck, so holding on to something that you should be letting go of. All right, let's see. For pile number 1, we have sadness. Okay. Card number 5. For pile number 2, we have say what you mean. Card number 18. And for pile number 3, we have sexual arts. Card number 33. So if you're new to pick a card, the way this works is you look at the images, whatever one calls to you, maybe the number calls to you, maybe the number in the timestamp calls to you, maybe the number on the card itself is a number that you're seeing repeating lately, and that's the message that's the pile for you. Whichever pile resonates the best with you is the one that's meant for you. You might resonate with 1 pile, 2 piles, or all 3 piles. That's okay. It means there's something in there that you need to hear. Okay, so whenever you are ready, click on the timestamp in the description box to bring you to your reading. I'll see you there. Bye. All right, if you chose pile number 1 with sadness, this is your card. So let's have a look at this for a second. So we have this person here who feels sad. So we said, what is the next upset? What is the next upheaval happening in your life and how to move through it? So it looks like whatever it is, the next upheaval coming in your life is going to bring feelings of sadness. So let's get a little bit more into that, shall we? Where are we going to get our messages for pile number 1, please? Messages for pile number 1 in sadness. What is the next upheaval in their lives and how to move through it, please? Next upheaval, traditional tarot. Oh, okay. I went to pull this out to shuffle it, and 2 cards were left behind. I do not believe in coincidences, people, especially if I'm channeling a reading. I do not believe in coincidences. I believe that everything comes out the way it's meant to, so the message is said the way it's meant to be said. The first 2 cards that came out are 6 of Cups and the Queen of Cups in reverse. The 6 of Cups is things in your past, your emotions within your past. And the Queen of Cups is allowing emotions, being secure in your emotions, being open and receptive. So for whoever this is, for pile number 1, who you are, whatever's going on, it has to do with your past and the feelings that you have not allowed yourself to feel in regards to your past. Okay. Let's get a shuffle. See what else comes out here. Okay. What do we need to hear, please? What's the next upset that we're working through? What's the next upset we're working through? The next upheaval? Thank you. All right. We have the Star, Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Cups, and the World. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so the next upheaval that's going on in your life has to do with getting something that you've been asking for, something you've been wishing for, and that you are meant to have, something that's meant to happen in your life. There's an offer that's going to be made that's going to make you feel like there's so many cups, there's so many emotion stuff here. There's an offer that's going to be made to you, a communication about emotions that's going to complete a cycle for you. Okay, that's crazy. That's beautiful. So again, with the Lovers on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so I'm starting to feel like this reading for this person who chose this pile number 1, this sadness that you've been experiencing, in the beginning, it didn't give me anything about what to do in your past, not being emotionally open to things. But I'm starting to see that this has to do with a relationship. This has to do with somebody that you love. And it looks like in the past, there was a lot of pain. There was a lot of denial of emotions. And it caused a lot of sadness for you, a lot of just sad, a lot of bad feelings. And it looks to me like you've been wishing and hoping for something beautiful, hoping for change. And that change is coming with Wheel of Fortune. There's an offer of love coming to you that will close out this former cycle and begin a new one. It's going to give you the world and make you feel like you have the world. Okay? That's, I mean, when we say upheaval, the next upset, when a first card that comes out is sadness, you think that it's going to be sadness is the next upheaval. But I don't think that's it. The upheaval is that something that caused sadness is now being resolved. Okay? I'm going to take this card and... Okay. Okay, let me read it as these cards are on the bottom. Let me tell you the story I'm seeing here. So it has to do with a romantic relationship that you knew you were trying to trust your intuition and you had to do it on your own because the other person was not pouring into your cup when you were trying to pour into theirs. But we are now at a point of victory because the towers, the foundation that was all cracked and broken had to break, and it did. And the tower has come down, and it's now time for people to see what's left behind, and judgment has been handed down where decision there was difficulty with making a decision, but now the thoughts are in control. Yeah, and then just continues to talk about the particular relationship where it didn't feel like there was anything to celebrate because there was unequal give and take, but there's new things coming in the relationship itself because someone has realized that they are in their own mental prison and matured within their thinking. Wow. Okay, that's beautiful. So for you, pile number 1, this is a beautiful thing. So when I ask, what's the next upheaval? What's the next upset? Right? The next upset is that things are about to get beautiful for you. And the upset is a good thing. I mean, they're always good things in the end, but the upset initially is a good thing. So how do we traverse this? Okay, let's put that away and let's get a little more. How do we move through this? How do we move through it? Okay, talk to me. How do we move through it? All right, I'm seeing the Work Your Light Oracle. So let's take our message there. How do we move through this new change that's coming to us? How is pile number 1 meant to move through this, please? How is pile number 1 meant to move through this? Thank you. All right. Warrior woman, have you answered your deepest call? The age of light. You've been training this for a lifetime. Answer the call. Oh my God, you guys. Okay. Do you see this? Okay, listen to this message again. As the cards came out, listen to this message again. Have you answered your deepest calling? You've been training for this for lifetimes. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Okay, so the advice how to move through this new change is just to embrace it. You know that this is what's meant for you, right? You know that this is your calling. You know that this is your deepest calling. This is your soul's calling, right? These two cards say the same thing, right? These two cards are showing the same type of thing. Have you answered your deepest call? What is your soul calling you to do? Answer the call, okay? Because this is what you've been training for. This relationship that is now coming into union is the word I want to use. This relationship that's coming into union. This is what you've been waiting for. You've been training for this for lifetimes. And at this point, I'm willing to say that we are dealing with someone who is at the very least a soulmate with you, but most likely a twin flame, most likely a soul counterpart with you. Because if you're training for this for lifetimes, this is somebody who you've been working towards building this beautiful life together with for lifetimes, and things have gotten in the way. But now your soul knows what you're supposed to do. Your soul knows this person. Okay? What are you being called to do? All right, on the bottom of the deck, there is break the chain. Ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. So, pile number 1. Okay. Based on everything I'm seeing here, I feel that we are dealing very strongly with a relationship where you know that this person is your soulmate. You know that this person is the one. You know it. But there are patterns of thinking and behavior that have been part of your generation. I don't know if this is a former lifetime with this person or if this is just a generational pattern that has been passed down from family member to family member all the way down the line. But you are the one who is supposed to break it, right? You are the one who's supposed to have this beautiful, amazing life. So for you to have that, okay, for you to have this amazing life where this destined change is supposed to happen, where this union is supposed to happen, there needs to be a release of the old. You need to let go of the past and the pain that it caused. It's stopping you from having the future that you actually want. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you. I have walked this path myself. I know this to be true. You must release the past. I'm hearing this repeated in readings all over the place lately, so I feel like this is a collective message that needs to be heard. So I'm going to share it with you as well. I've been hearing a lot of it's important for us to let go of the pain that was holding us in our past because we are moving forward. We are growing. We are releasing, and we have to let go of the old versions of ourselves, but we also need to let go of the old versions of our soulmates because they were not their highest self, and neither were we. You need to release that because you cannot move forward if you're still holding on to the pain of the past. Right? And that's everything that the Six of Cups says, is the pain of the past, the things that happened in the past. Okay? Especially when we're talking about Queen of Cups in reverse combined with the Six of Cups. Both of those are about your emotions. And the Queen of Cups is about being open to things, being receptive, being connected, nurturing, loving, all of those things. It's in reverse. So in the past, there was not nurturing and loving. In the past, there was not connection. In the past, there was not this deep feeling of love and acceptance. But that is over. That part is over. And you need to just trust your soul. Okay? You are breaking chains. So let's get one final piece of guidance, please. We're looking at the Angel Oracle. One final piece of guidance for pile number 1, please. Thank you. Okay, we got signs from heaven. Thank you, heaven, for sending me reminders of your presence. So that's looking for things like feathers. If you see feathers on the ground, know that that means that your spiritual team is around and they're just reminding you. You see feathers somewhere. I've seen them randomly in places on the ground, inside stores, like random places, and seen a feather somewhere. That's meant you're being shown that they're with you. Okay, so just know that you are being divinely guided. Your spiritual team is with you. They love you and they are supporting you all the time. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. If you are interested in booking a personal reading, that information is in the description box. Send me an email. We'll get something scheduled. I do personal readings in person if you are in the Windsor-Tecumseh, Ontario area. Otherwise, I do live readings on Zoom where you log in from anywhere in the world and we will do the reading live. I also do recorded readings such as these for individual personal things. I will send you the private link where you have access to the video for 6 months, after which time I will delete it so that no one else has access to it. Okay, so if you are interested in that, send me a message. Otherwise, if you are interested in moving forward with your healing and you are looking for guidance and help, you can check out my podcast. That's at Get In We're Going Healing. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcasts. I share with you what I have learned on my journey and the things that I have processed and learned so that you too might have that knowledge and that guidance to help you on your path. Okay? So until next time, my beautiful pal number one. Keep letting go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. If you got to the end of this, I'd like you to drop a teardrop in the comment section for pile number one. A teardrop if you chose pile number one for sadness. Okay? Love and light, guys. Bye. If you chose pile number two with say what you mean, then this is your reading. So let's have a look at our card here. So what we see here is we see this person, we see these two people, right? And we see one person covering their ears and both are turning away from each other. Okay, not being direct. So pile number two, there is definitely something here that's talking about where you keep back, you hold back what you actually want to say. And you say what you think someone else should say or someone else wants you to say rather than what you actually mean. So before we even start pulling cards, that's a bit of a boundary issue. So that might be an area where you struggle, is setting boundaries around, like creating limits for people when you need to. Speaking up for yourself when you need to. Okay, let's find out some messages for that. So for pile number two, we are looking for what their next shakeup, what their next upheaval is going to be in their life, okay? I need to get some messages for our pile number two, please. What is the next upheaval coming in their life? All right. I'm seeing the Modern Witches Tarot. So we're going to go with the Modern Witches Tarot for this deck, for this part of the reading. Okay, give it a shuffle. All right, angels, guides, ancestors of pile number two, help us get clear messages for what they need to hear, what the next upheaval, the next upset, the next kerfuffle in their life is going to be, and how to help them through it. Okay, what's the next upheaval going to be, the next change? For pile number two, say what you mean. Okay, Queen of Wands, the energy of overexpending energy or keeping energy to yourself. Let's get some more. What's the next upheaval? Okay. Temperance, things are out of balance. Death, something needs to end. Interesting. With you are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. May you find your path to your best self. Okay, pile number two. Right now, what we're getting, again, we started with say what you mean, okay? And again, I had commented that it's often where we don't say what we mean, we say what we think someone else wants us to say or what they expect us to say rather than what we actually mean. And as I'm asking what the next upheaval is going to be, it looks like with Queen of Wands in reverse, what this means is that you are going to be spending more time alone You're not going to be sharing your energy with people. You're going to be keeping to yourself a little bit more because there's something that needs to be brought in, an integration. Okay. Temperance is about balance, finding your footing. Okay. So if we see here, there's 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the ground. Okay. We've got the sun. We've got her like the rising over the mountains, again, in balance. We've got her pouring from one cup to another in balance, right? We've got all the colors of the chakras, it looks like, in balance. So what this card talks about with 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot in the water is being in balance between the 3D world and our emotions. The logic and our emotions, okay? Things are out of balance because it's in reverse. So there's an area that's been, I'm going to say the energy of keeping to yourself, but there's an area where you have been out of balance, either too much in the water in your emotions or too much on land in your logic. But that's coming to an end, and there is an abrupt change. There's an ending coming for you, a transformation that's coming for you. And this transformation sounds like you're going to be transforming into your best self because this card is unique to this deck. And again, it says you are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self. So I'm going to take through this deck out and say you are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. May you find the path to your best self, which is what we want, right? We want to be our best self. We want to take the masks off. We want to be who we actually are and our best self. And I feel that the next upset for you, the 9 of Swords, the moon in, listen, okay. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Listen, let me tell you the story of what's happening in these cards. Okay. So the next upset, the details of this upset. Okay, so I'm telling you that there's the death card. The death card is change. The death card is transformation. The death card is the ending of one thing, so something new can begin. It's the metamorphosis of the caterpillar in the cocoon before it becomes the butterfly. It stops being the caterpillar. In the whole time it's in the chrysalis, it stops being a caterpillar. For a while, it's just goo in a dark place. And I feel like that's where you are headed, is this dark place where you are working through to being who you are. Because again, you are a badass being, may you find your path. And so here's the story of the cards that are underneath it, okay? 9 of Swords, anxiety, stress, worry, fear, the things that mess with our heads, moon in reverse. But the things in your subconscious are coming to the surface for you to see. 10 of Swords, it's the ending of like where you just feel like you have been stabbed to death. You are done. You are just, you've taken as much as you can take. This is after the 9, right? So if we follow the understanding, the 9, before we go from the fears, anxieties, and worries, and we go to where those have just overcome us. The fears, the anxieties, and the worries have hit us and put us in rock bottom. But it's through the things in your subconscious that need to come forward to be seen. We got the Strength card in reverse after the 10 of Swords. So not giving enough compassion. And I feel like in this case, because it's the Hermit after that in reverse, not giving enough compassion to yourself, right? You're stuck on old ways of thinking that keep you feeling like there's nothing to celebrate. But that tower is about to come tumbling down for you, because the tower is when everything's been built on a bad foundation, it's going to come tumbling down. It has to. You can't live in a tower, a beautiful gilded tower, no matter how beautiful it is. If the foundation is cracked and crumbling, that tower is going to come down with all the beautiful things inside it. The only options you have when the tower is presented, it means the source, universe, the divine is about to tear down what you were unwilling to do. There's a meme that's going around that says, you want change, but you are unwilling to make the necessary changes. Well, I got something for you. And it's the tower. That's what the tower brings. It brings when you know that there's change that you need to make, but you are unwilling to make the necessary changes, the universe makes it for you. That's the tower. Okay. So when we've got these swords coming, these cards coming through, 9 of Swords, your stresses and worries, things in your subconscious that have made it so it's overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed and you can't take anymore. You haven't been very kind to yourself, because there's old ways of thinking that you're trying to work through that make you feel defeated. Well, that is about to go. Things that are out of balance are about to go. Okay? So that is the upset that's coming for you, is this big change, these things that have been causing you to keep up at night, to stay awake at night, to be worried, to be stressed, to be full of anxiety, the things that you don't talk about with other people, right? The things that you don't tell other people. This is what's being shaken up in your life. Okay, so the next question is, how do we move through it? So all these worries, these stresses, these fears, right? All of these things in your subconscious that are coming through, these old ideas where your tower is coming down, how do we move through it? We are changing. We've got the death card. So how do we move through it? Okay, Energy Oracle is what they're giving me. So let's see what advice comes through here. So how do we move through this new change as we're releasing these old ways of being, these old ways of thinking, as we're we're letting our old life die so we can come into our new life? What do we need to do? What do we need to think? First chakra in reverse. First of all, we need to look at our insecurities, where we are feeling unstable, where we are feeling that we are not grounded, right? As long as you are feeling ungrounded, you're going to feel like you're swaying along with the wind, swaying along with the water, right? If you have nothing to ground you and anchor you, how are you going to stay afloat? Right? How are you going to keep from drifting off? So the first chakra in reverse, it's talking about feeling insecure. So how do we move through it was the question. By confronting our insecurities. Okay, what else? Door to romance in reverse. Okay, feeling like the door is shut. Door to romance is shut. Now, I don't know if that means that you're supposed to, I don't know who this message is for. Okay, it might mean that if you are out there in the dating world, maybe you shouldn't be right now. If what you are doing is trying to open a door to romance, maybe you shouldn't be right now. Okay, if you're in the middle of a transformation, do you think a caterpillar opens the chrysalis to let someone else in? Like, they are in transformation mode, right? You are in transformation mode right now. We saw the tower. We see the death card. We see the temperance card, things that need to be integrated, things that need to be balanced within you. And they're out of balance. So this is not the time to be opening the door to romance, okay? You need to let go of your attachment to how it's going to show up. So if we have a certain idea in our mind and we picture the way that it's going to show up, we picture the way it's going to happen for us. And it's great when people talk about manifesting and you visualize it and you imagine what it would feel like. But if you imagine all the details down to the last nitty gritty, right? The problem becomes, if the universe isn't sending it to you in that package, how are you going to recognize it if you only expect it to look a certain way? If you're attached to how it's going to look, how it's going to feel, how it's going to present itself, then you're not open to the myriad of other ways that it can present itself because you're not looking for it, right? Let go of your attachment to how it's going to show up. Let go of your attachment to what it's going to look like, okay? You have to just take it as it comes. I know we said be secure, be anchored, be grounded, but there has to be, you can't be so anchored that you end up being pulled below the surface because you're so rigid, right? You have to allow enough slack to be anchored, but to allow you to rise with the water and shift with the water without being smashed against the shore. You know what I mean? So what other advice do we have for our pile number 2s who are saying what they mean, who are confronting old fears, dealing with old ways, and transforming? They're letting go of attachment. They're closing a door to trying to give their love away to others. We've got broken heart in reverse, 4th chakra upright, 2nd chakra in reverse, with man holding a heart in the upright on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the advice as we move through this is to let go of your heartbreak. Okay, broken heart in reverse, let it go. If you're focused on your heartbreak, how are you going to move forward? If you're focused on how someone done you wrong, how are you going to give them space to do you right? You know, do you get me? Because with the heart chakra, I mean, both of these are the heart. 4th chakra, that's the heart chakra. And this is in the upright position. So this is let go of heartbreak so that you can allow your heart to open, because this is heart chakra in the open position, right? We've got the 2nd chakra in reverse. So this is being closed off to vulnerability, intimacy, right? So to me, this is This is a consequence of the broken heart. You've been closed to intimacy. You've been closed to allowing yourself to feel the full scope of feelings with another person because they've hurt you. They broke your heart. How they broke your heart? I don't know. I don't have that information. You have that information, though. You know how they broke your heart. You know how it made you feel. But as you let go of this heartbreak, this is what's going to build the new love. Because again, man holding the heart on the bottom of the deck. This is nothing but hearts, people. Nothing but hearts. This is all about the heart. L'amour. All about hearts, okay? So it's letting go of the broken heart so that you can actually feel the love, feel the beauty, and get connected on an intimate level, because there is someone here, a masculine energy. I don't know who I'm speaking to, if you're a feminine energy or a masculine energy, but there is the energy of someone actively, if we're going to go by the masculine and feminine based on the yin and the yang, I'm going to use this card to talk about actively the yang energy. Yang energy is actively doing something. Yin energy is in receiving mode, allowing mode. This is the masculine card, man holding the heart. So this is someone who is actively bringing love to you. Okay, actively giving love, actively holding their heart out and saying, here, take it. Okay, I don't know if this is you or your person, but somebody is willing to give their heart, but you have to be open to it. Okay, you have to let go of the pain of the past, the heartbreak that happened, the fears, worries, the worry that it's going to happen again, okay? Because we see again, 9 of Swords, the Moon in reverse, 10 of Swords, strength. We talked about that already. Vulnerability, right? The Hermit, being alone. Like, we're seeing all these cards. This is talking about somebody hurt you and it's been deep in your subconscious and been messing with your head, and it's keeping you from being this beautiful, alive, loving creature that you want to be. Because again, you are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. May you find your path to your best self. So letting go of your past, letting go of the pain, letting go of the previous heartbreak is what will allow you to move forward into the future that you're actually looking for. Okay, that's what I'm seeing for you. Final pieces of advice for our pile number 2, please. As they're the new upset that's happening in their life, how to move through it. What is the last piece of advice for them, please? Okay, they're sending me back here to the Heal Yourself Oracle. Okay, so let's see. Last piece of advice for pile number 2, please. Last piece of advice. Patience, but it came out in the reverse position. Okay, you got to be patient. I know it's hard to wait. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. It is so hard to wait, especially when you keep getting these in your readings that love is coming, love is coming, love is coming, love is coming. And you're like, where the fuck is love? You said it's coming. You said the offer's coming. You said it's going to be there. Where is this offer? Where is this love you keep saying that I'm supposed to be having? Right? I absolutely understand you, but divine timing is real. There are other things at play other than simply your feelings and your expectations. That's again, let go of attachment. It's the other person is working through whatever they have to work through as well, in the timing in which they need in order to work through it. And it will not happen until the timing is right. And being impatient, and I know, it is very hard when someone says just be patient. Don't be impatient, just be patient, just wait. It's very hard. So my advice to you, my dear pile number 2, is to worry about working on your path. Worry about you seeing what's under the surface, looking at the things in your subconscious, looking at your pain and letting it go. If you focus on doing your work, put your head down and do your work, then you don't sit there waiting for the pot to boil and wondering when the hell it's going to boil. If you're impatient, it's because you're focused too hard on it. If you let go of your focus on the thing that you are focused on, okay, which is having this new love offer, having this new love being given to you, having this person actively offer their love to you. When you are waiting for that, it makes it harder. So worry about you and what you need to do on your path. Put your head down, do your work. Okay. Next thing you know, you're going to lift your head and there's going to be a set of flowers in your face. You're like, where the heck did that come from? Because the timing will be right. Just put your head down and do your work. Don't worry so much about what's going on. If you need to set boundaries, because again, our first card was say what you mean. If you need to set a boundary, set a boundary. If you need to set a boundary is a limit. A boundary is this is how far this can go. And when you cross this line, that's too far. It's beyond what is acceptable. That's too far. You are the only one who gets to create your limits. Nobody else does. It's based on how you feel and what is too far for you. It doesn't matter if it's not too far for someone else. If it is too far for you, that's your limit. Okay? And so you don't have to defend it like a knight at the drawbridge. You do just have to say, hey, this is my limit. And you can't do that. You can't say that. It's not okay with me if you do. And then if you continue to behave this way, here's how I'm going to respond. It's not about controlling the other person. It's about setting where the limit is for you. And if you need to walk away, you walk away. If you need to take a break, you take a break, right? It's about you, not about the other person. It's about what makes you feel okay, not about them, okay? All right, my pile number 2s. I hope that was helpful for you. Again, if you are looking for a personal reading, I do those. You can find that all that information in the description box. Send me an email. We can get something set up. I do them in person if you are in the Windsor-Tecumseh area, Windsor and Tecumseh, Ontario, Canada area. Then I will come to you. I do parties and events. You'll also find I can do readings if you're not in the local area. I can do meetings over Zoom, live over Zoom. I can also do a recorded reading just like the one you're watching, specifically for you and the questions that you've asked. Send you the private link that is not accessible to anyone without the link. And you get access to that reading for 6 months. And after which time I will permanently delete it where no one else has access to it and will never see it. So, I do all that. And if you're looking for help on this healing path as you are moving through your journey, releasing your heartbreak, check out my podcast if you need help. I have been down this path. I know this stuff. I have experienced this stuff, and I share what I learn as I learn it. So you can check that out. It's called Get In, We're Going Healing, and you can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcasts. So until next time, for my lovely pile number 2s, please, please, please keep working on this. Keep letting go of those things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. Love and light. Bye. All right. If you chose the sexual arts card, number 33, then this is your reading, pile number 3. So, already we're getting some vibes here. So the question that we're looking into is, what is the next upheaval? What's the next upset? What's the next kerfuffle that's going on in your life and how to move through it? So we start off with sexual art. So now I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means something is going to be ramping up in your personal life. I don't know if that's something that you're involved in. So let's get some more information, shall we? All right, so our lovely pile number 3s are looking for what is the next shakeup going on in their life? What is the next upheaval happening in their life? Where are we going to get that information, please? Okay. Tarot of the Divine. All right. And get a good shuffle in here. Oh. Does not want to shuffle. Says we're good. All right. So, angels, guides, ancestors of those tuning in for pile number 3, please help us get clear guided messages for what they need to hear so they know what the next upheaval in their life is going to be and how to move through it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Pile number 3, please. Sexual arts. Tell me more. Okay. Knight of Cups. 2 of Cups in reverse, 5 of Coins in reverse. Listen, okay, Knight of Swords, upright on the bottom of the deck. Listen, okay, there is an offer coming for you. There is a love offer. Someone is bringing communication. Look at our Knight of Cups in this deck, okay? We got this guy on horseback. We see this falcon. I'm going to call it like a messenger falcon. And he is moving. He's the Knight of Cups. He's moving kind of slow. He's on a horse. He's moving a little bit. But he's got this thing to communicate, right? So there is an offer of love that's being offered to you. where there previously was not, with the Two of Cups in reverse. The Two of Cups talks about pouring, or I'm sorry, Four of Cups, my bad. Four of Cups in reverse. So Four of Cups is, yes. Okay. Okay, give me a minute. Listen, this is pile number 3. I don't even know if we could call this an upheaval. Okay. I don't know if it's okay. Knight of Cups is making the offer. We just talked about that, right? This is Four of Cups in reverse. Now, the Four of Cups, traditionally, what this is, look at this card, okay? She's got these 3 cups, and she's not really paying that much attention, but this one cup up here is being offered with this bird, right? So traditionally in the Four of Cups, it's talking about being apathetic. It's the apathy card. It's not really being satisfied with what you have. There's usually someone staring off into space. There's 3 cups in front of them, or 3 empty cups, and they're not really looking at them. And there's a cup being offered by source. Usually it's a hand through a cloud. There's a cup being offered through source, but they're not noticing it. They don't even see it. They don't see this offer that's being offered them, this beautiful divine gift that's being offered them. They don't see it, right? This is in reverse. So this offer, there's an offer being made to you that you're going to see, that you're going to clearly see, with five of Pentacles in reverse, where it's going to make you feel like you have everything that you went through in the past, all of the, I'm hearing the word breadcrumbing, all of the breadcrumbing that you were given. 5 of Pentacles is about not having enough. It's being left out in the cold, right? On this card, it's depicted as the little match girl. So in the story of the little match girl, it's a little girl who was an orphan, and she was out in the cold, and she was looking through the window. Like, she had these matches. She had 5 matches. And each time she lit a match and held it up near the wall to warm herself, what she could see through the wall, and she could see families having dinner together, this warmth, this love, this compassion, this connection. But she wasn't part of it. She was on the outside watching it happen. And in the end, she used up all of her matches, and she was left out in the cold. She ended up dying out in the cold. Now, it's a sad ending, but the message in the card is about, she could see that there was joy and happiness to be had. She could see that there was all these things to be had, but it wasn't being offered to her. She was on the out. So in this card, in the upright position, it would be talking about you were left out in the cold. There was joy, there was compassion, there was love to be had, but it was not being offered to you. This is in reverse. Okay, so the message we're getting is there's an offer of love being given to you that you're actually going to see and you're going to accept. Whereas before, you were left out in the cold. Now you're going to feel totally accepted, totally loved, and totally cared for. With the bottom of the deck, Knight of Swords, this is swift thinking. This is the fastest moving in the deck, so the fastest moving knight in the deck. My apologies. So this is coming to you fast. This is coming to you soon. Okay, very soon with the Knight of Swords. Okay, let's get some more. What is the next upheaval coming for our pile number 3s? Justice. Okay, so again, this is favorable justice, I feel, when we're coming on the heels of the 5 of Coins in reverse, where you were previously left out in the cold, where the offer wasn't made to you, right? Where there wasn't this connection. Now it's being seen, and you are getting your just desserts. You've put in the work, you've put in the time, you've put in the effort, and you didn't see the results. You didn't see what should have been the love that you got for what you put in. Equal give and take. You didn't get that. But now you are getting everything that was owed to you. Okay? Oh, okay, hold on. We got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And the Page of Wands upright. Yes. So you were on the bottom of the wheel. Empress on the bottom of the deck. Listen. Listen. Okay. Wheel of Fortune in reverse talks about you were in. This is the same as this. Okay. This is basically the same message. You were out in the cold. You were on the bottom. The fate had dealt you a bad hand. You were at the bottom of the wheel. But the wheel is always turning. Wheel in the sky, keep on turning. It's still turning, right? So this was, if you're up at the top, there's going to be a time where you swing down to the bottom. But if you are on the bottom, like this card at this time, it's about to be an upswing for you, baby. Justice is being served. You are getting what you were supposed to get. The wheel of fortune is turning in your favor, and it's giving you this new energy that makes you feel like you are young, you are vibrant. It's making you believe in things again. It's giving you this big boost of energy, right? On the bottom of the deck is the Empress. Creativity, things being birthed into creation, things coming into fruition, right? This upheaval that's coming for you is like the most beautiful upheaval that could ever happen. I mean, you shouldn't complain. Things are about to be beautiful for you, okay? How do we move through this? So we know that this thing is coming. How do we move through this now? Okay? Can I get some guidance on how to move through it? Where are we taking it? Guidance, okay. They're showing me the Inner Guides Oracle. Okay, so guidance on how to move through this beautiful new thing that's coming for you. I mean, this looks amazing. And again, we started with sexual art, so this is a relationship, people. This is love, 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 love. L'amour. This is all about love. Okay, what's the advice to move through it, please? Okay, self-esteem. And because of the image on this card, what I'm getting from this is self-love, okay? Not just self-esteem, self-love. So are you loving yourself, or are you waiting for someone else to bring that love to you, to validate you? If you are waiting for someone else to be giving you all that loving and to validate you and tell you, you're so amazing, you're so beautiful, I love you so much, you're so wonderful, I can't live without you, all that stuff, right? If you are waiting for someone to bring that to you and that's what validates the relationship, then you are missing things, my friend. You are missing things. Self-esteem is the big one. It's your love of self that transforms things, okay? It is your love of self. When you decide that you love yourself enough that you won't tolerate bad behavior anymore, when you love yourself enough to feed yourself well, when you love yourself enough to make sure that you are getting all of the daily requirements for mental health, when you love yourself enough to tell people, no, thank you, I don't want to go out, I think I'm just going to stay in tonight so that you can nourish your soul. When you love yourself enough to know that it's time to go out with your friends to have social connection because it might upcharge your battery, to be around people who get you. When you love yourself enough to give yourself the things that are best for your well-being, it can't help but bring that from other people. Okay? If you are waiting for someone else to bring it to you, you are going to be waiting a long time. Self-love is the key. Self-esteem is the key. Self-esteem is essentially in the category of like self-confidence. And that's knowing who you are. Like being comfortable who you are. Self-acceptance is in the same vein, right? Self-esteem is your good thoughts and feelings about yourself. So, and on the bottom of the deck, we also have unconditional love. So again, I feel like this is talking about self-love rather than self-esteem. So the advice given in this category, we're asking how to move through this new thing that's coming for you. The way to move through it is self-love, is self-esteem, is unconditional love for yourself. Right? It's how to love yourself, how to be a divine mother, a divine father. No, you know what? No, I'm going with the yin energy, a divine mother to yourself. This is how you move through it. So you're not looking for the other person to love and validate you, to validate your existence. You are giving that to yourself and they will give it in return, okay? Not because it's a manipulation, but because it's the same vibration. All right? Any more advice? Did that flip? No, it didn't. Any more advice for moving through this, please? Thank you. Anything else? Yeah, we'll take them both. Imagination and competition. Okay. With risk in the reverse at the bottom of the deck. All right. So the advice with moving through these new changes that are coming for you, as we already said, was self-esteem, loving yourself, unconditional love for yourself, and that'll translate to unconditional love for others, but it begins with self. As long as you have conditions on love for yourself, you will find you have conditions on love for others. If it has to look a certain way, if it can only be a certain way, that is a condition. Only if is a condition. Only when is a condition. I'll love myself only when I have the right body. I'll love myself only when I have the time. I'll love myself only when I make this amount of money. I'll love myself only when I, all of those things are conditions. Okay, all of those things are limitations on love for self. Unconditional means there are no conditions. There are no situations in which my love for you will not exist. That is unconditional love. It must start with you, where there's no situation in which you will stop loving yourself. And that's where it begins. You cannot give it to someone else without giving it to you, because there will always be a condition. And in a lot of cases, there should be a condition. But that unconditional love should be within you, where you love yourself enough to not allow behaviors that cause you harm, right? So in here where we've got competition, what I'm hearing, this is competition with yourself, to be a better version of yourself, to grow into a better version of yourself. And with imagination, with inner child, and with warrior guides too, I'm hearing that there are protectors, parts of you who are your protectors, parts of you who want to jump in and maybe not accept this love because there is pain. And they're saying they're protecting the inner child. The way to move through this, the way to heal through this, is going to be not taking a big risk. Okay. As long as you try to take a big risk, the big risk is you're not there yet. Okay. You can't take that yet. What is being asked instead is to spend time in imagination with your inner child, because your inner child is you. Okay. It's the version of you that you were before you grew up. And that it's still a part of you. It still remembers. It still has emotions. It still has memory of emotions. It still has memories and connection. It still has hurt and pain, as well as love and fear, and all of those emotions are still part of the small version of you. When you love that version, when you give that version of you love, when you give it attention, when you give it connection, when you give it all the things that it wanted so badly from its caregivers, which is what we end up doing in relationships. We end up seeking that out, that love, nurturing connection that our inner selves wanted when we were children, that we may not have gotten from our caregivers. And we continue to seek it because it's a need. That need for those things still exists. And if we are looking for someone beyond us, like we did when we were children, to give us that love, connection, and validation, then we're going to be just like we were as children, disappointed when we don't receive that. But if you give that love, connection, and validation to your own inner child, that own part of you who's looking for that, when you are able to be that for yourself, to be the wise adult for your inner child, to be that loving caregiver for your inner child that it did not have, when you are able to do that for you, that actually moves you into a space where you have already met that need within yourself. And that way, when someone else offers it to you, you can accept it without desperately needing it, without seeking it and looking for it to complete you. You are already giving that to yourself. So this isn't a big risk for you to do. That's the big advice here. I feel like this is something that you might already be in the process of doing, because we have the Empress. I feel like this is something you are already in the process of doing. So just keep on working at it. Keep going. Spend time in deep meditation. If you have not done a self-love meditation, may I suggest the self-love meditation by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I use that pretty regularly. It's about 20 minutes long, and it's going in and giving that love to yourself, showing yourself how to have that love, how to have that connection, how to have that bond with yourself, how to give yourself that big hug that you need, how to thank yourself, how to see yourself from your cell's perspective, because every single one of the cells inside your body see you as God. They all live within the great container that is you. Every single one of those cells, muscle cells, skin cells, all of that, they are you. Even though they don't look like your whole you, they make up you. They love you. When you see that, when you can connect with that, when you can embody love from within, that'll help you. I love that meditation. I strongly recommend it. I also strongly recommend self-compassion work from Dr. Kristen Neff. Neff is her last name, Dr. Kristen Neff. And she does a self-compassion test that you can do on her website, where you can take it and find out how compassionate you are to yourself than maybe that you are to others. Maybe you're not very compassionate with yourself. And see where you rank on that. And she has lots of beautiful meditations that you can listen to for free and like download and listen to, that you can connect with that and learn to give yourself more love and compassion, and learn to build that unconditional love for yourself, to be a good friend to yourself. So my pile number 3 is with this new change that's coming, because again, this is beautiful. Wheel of Fortune, this is change coming where you've been left out in the cold. All these things are being offered you. All this new love is being offered you, and it's absolutely stunning. But it comes because these are the things you've been working on. The advice to move through this is to remember to love yourself. Remember to give unconditional love to yourself and to others. Remember to have space for them. Hold space as they make mistakes, as they have a rough day. Hold space for them. It's not a competition. You don't have to compete with anyone. Okay? You don't have to protect yourself to a great extent. But connect with your imagination. Allow yourself to believe what there is to believe, okay? What you can believe. Allow yourself to connect with that inner child and that belief that anything could happen. Play it safe and enjoy. Relax. No need to make big leaps, okay? There are no big leaps to be made. Just roll with it is what I'm hearing, okay? So one final piece of advice for our pile number 3, please. And we're going to get that from the Angel Oracle. One last card for our pile number 3. Last piece of advice, please. Thank you. Yeah, you're going through some change and transformation. No surprise there. We've just been talking about that. So there is a big change and transformation coming for you. Roll with it. Ride with it. It's beautiful. I'm so happy for you. This is a wonderful thing for you to have, and I absolutely adore that for you. I'm so happy. So if you're looking for a personal reading based on your individual things, hit me up. You can find that in the description box. Send me an email. We'll get that set up. If you are in the Windsor-Tecumseh, Ontario region in Canada, I do personal readings live in person. I come to you. If you are in my area, reach out to me. I'll set you up with an appointment. We'll get that sorted out. If you are not in my area and you'd still like to do a live reading, I can do that by Zoom with you and log in at whatever time is convenient with you. We'll set a time. Log in and do it live over Zoom. You can ask whatever questions you want, clarifiers, and we'll go from there. If you don't want to do that, we can do a recorded reading, just like the one you're watching. Individually for your stuff, you'll get a link to your personal reading that is private. No one else will get the link but you. And you can have access to it for 6 months, after which point I will permanently delete it so no one has access to it. It'll be gone from the interwebs. All right. So if you are looking for guidance on this path, I have been walking this path for some time, and I started a podcast about it so that I can help you understand how to walk your path. There might be some nuggets of gold in there that might help you where you're at. You can check that out. It's called Get In, We're Going Healing, and you can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Okay. So for my lovely pile number 3s, I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you some insight and some information, and I hope it's preparing you for what else is coming next, because baby, this looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. So until next time, keep letting go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. Love and light. Bye.